some of the series that just wrapped up. Nuggets and Clippers. Nuggets and Clippers
Mhm.
wrapped up
Mhm.
as of today, Sunday, in which we're recording
Mhm.
this. Nuggets and Clippers wrapped up on Saturday night. That series to me, man. I mean, Jokic is already one of those ones, right? We already know that. I think the other guys, the rest of that team really stepped up in the last couple games in that series for Denver. Help propel them to the conference semis to face the Oklahoma City Thunder. No, I won't say no surprise. I was proud of how they played because up until that point we hadn't seen the rest of the guys step up. It felt like it was just Joker for the majority of the season for them, and seeing Jamal Murray have a big game there in that series. Seeing MPJ and Aaron Gordon finally, what I'm saying, turn it on. Russell Westbrook doing what he's been doing all year, which is play with high levels of intensity and high effort. Um, Congratulations to them. They move on to the next round, man. What were your thoughts?
You know what, Matt? Going into it, a lot of people thought the Clippers were gonna expose a lot of that experience within that game, especially with the Kawhi. But I mean, obviously, Game 7, James Harden showed up. I don't know if you're familiar with that. I'm pretty familiar with that, especially with his days in Houston, 2018. But yeah, he didn't really show up. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people are in question of like, his legacy with that, and can he, close out a series, anytime in his career, you know what I'm saying? But there was a lot of resilience when it came to Denver. I watched the entire game last night, and you just seeing a lot of grit from them guys, and Russell Westbrook just bringing the energy like he always does, and yeah, they like it got to the point where it was a competitive game, sort of least. And Denver, I looked up at the screen, and Denver just ran away with it. I guess they went on a good run, and them Bulls was up probably like what 15. It was over. It was over by the time it was third quarter. I was like, by the time that happened, I was like, yeah, that's a wrap. Cause but I think moving forward, when you look at Denver, man, it's just like they got OKC, and that's I don't
And
know,
look,
man.
before we move on to Denver OKC because we'll go to that next. And just to piggyback on the Kawhi comment, not Kawhi, but the James Harden comment. Every I was talking to some friends of mine that was like, man, like I think we still, 'cause he a Clippers fan, and I said, I think we still got a shot. I think we can still make something happen. I was like, dog, the fact that you have to rely on James Harden to play at a high level in a critical playoff game, that's not going to work.
Right.
It's simply not going to work. And I'm disappointed because coming into this series, I thought that James could finally turn it around. I thought he finally had the right partner. Not that he hadn't had the right partners before, but hey, maybe with Kawhi Leonard being as great of a late game situational player as he is, I thought that he could, like, maybe those walls would go away. But when you only take 8 shot attempts in a game and you score under 10 points, it's like you're playing as if you're afraid of the moment. And I can't. And I do wonder what happens to James Harden in these moments and the playoffs in general, where it's like, dog, you you seem to freeze in these huge moments. His legacy is what it is, man. His legacy is going to be a great regular season performer, bad playoff performer. He won't be remembered to me as one of the greats as he probably could be because of these terrible playoff performances. The Clippers themselves, I mean, I knew it was a wrap for them as a franchise. But with the experiment of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and now James Harden, it's over with, man. It has not culminated into anything significant. It's led to a Western Conference Finals appearance a few years ago. That's it. And I mean, the reality is, man, is that, like, dog, maybe PG was the most important piece to that puzzle more so than anybody.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was the only
yeah.
guy that was able to take them to the
Mhm,
brink of the NBA Finals, man. And so I don't know,
mhm.
man. It's hard to see it go down like this, but Kawhi Leonard isn't the same two-way player anymore. I think people have to get that image out of their heads of what we saw like 2013, 14. Yeah, that guy doesn't exist anymore. James Harden is a bad playoff performer. That's been historically what he's been. There's no need to hope and wish for anything else. Um, And this team this isn't going anywhere, bro. And they're an older group that is past their prime, and this is kind of where we're at.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are starting to like misjudge the whole situation because a lot of people thought, oh, KG, yeah, I mean, sorry, KG, PG was the problem. That whole offseason, they was like, yeah, he's going to Philly. He the problem. He can't do that. When you got a guy who's known to be one of the best scorers in the league in history, he can't even close out a game 7. So, like you said, it's kind of sad to see this, up until present time, this play out the way it did. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, man, it is kind of sad. I mean, just from James Harden stands, going to multiple teams, what I'm saying, and just not being able to, finish the way he has, what I'm saying. He's a very prominent player. But that's crazy. It's crazy how you go here and then the window was open again, yet again for the Clippers. I would say as a franchise though, just to piggyback off of that, as a franchise, they have had like the most, unfortunate luck when it comes to the window being not wide open, but wide enough to win a championship. And they just never was able to break that ceiling. You know what I'm saying? But now it's just like two of your guys are getting older. One is injury prone, and the other one isn't really the same player he used to be. And Norman Powell's 32. So I mean, it's just kind of like sad to see, yet again another first round exit, by the Clippers, man. So just got a new arena. It's crazy, man. It's just crazy.
It is indeed tough, but we can move on to OKC versus Denver. That series to me, man, I gotta say I'm rolling with the young guns. I think we're at the point now where the old guys can't hold them off any longer. There is no more. There is. I won't say there is no more experience that's gonna take out some of the youth. It's just that I think the youth has experience now. OKC isn't a young team in the sense of they haven't been here. They've been to the playoffs here a few times. I think they're ready to go they're gonna make the next step. And I think it happens this year. I think they get past Denver. I got that series going 6 games. Um, tell me what you got.
I agree. I probably got to go into 5. I think simply because one of the it's just about matchups at this point. Jokic is probably the only guy that's going to get his points. He's going to get his shine. Murray as well. But I mean, like you said, this is a younger team. This is more like faster team on transition. Like these guys are gonna go and they're gonna score. I think defensively wise, we're gonna have to see where that goes, but and just how the IQ of Jokic works in this series. But overall, man, like you said, I don't really think Russ is gonna have enough in the tank, to keep up with them guys. I don't really think Aaron Gordon and those guys. I don't think the depth isn't deep enough, at least in my opinion. It's not deep enough. We talk about depth all the time, especially in the NBA. So I think the depth is more like youthful and over in OKC experience, and they got a young guy out there. You know what I'm saying? Alex Caruso, he ain't young, but I mean he's young enough, to go out there and run that second unit coming off the bench. Man, it's yeah, that's gonna be an interesting series. I know you said 6, but I probably got to go into 5. I probably got to go into 5.
But you're absolutely right in terms of the matchup. I mean, once we get this deep into the playoffs, and really in general, especially in the Western Conference, knowing that there isn't a big separator between these teams, throughout the regular season at all, matchups is where it starts to matter the most. Talk about guys like Hartenstein that you're gonna throw at Joker. Talk about guys, you talk about Chet Holmgren, who also has, has the length at the very least to be able to play against Joker. And like I said, we'll also have to see with guys like Jalen Williams. Will they continue to ascend? I mean, remember, going into the playoffs, we talked about, hey, that which of the secondary guys are gonna be able to step up and elevate their game. He's one of those ones too that has to elevate where has to elevate his level of play. And if they can continue to use their depth, because what I start to know is at least is that the lineups tend to shrink. The depth you use depth in that first round because you probably you got an easier matchup when you're a higher seed. But as you keep going, you probably start to cut down the amount of guys that you're starting to use. I'm intrigued to see how many guys OKC throw at the Denver Nuggets, and if they're
Mhm.
still able to use that level of depth that they've been able to use all season and even through that first round, then like you said, 5 games is likely going to be where it stands. Again, me, I always got to show respect to teams that have done it, guys that have done it. So I'm going to show respect to that champ to a team with championship caliber over there in Denver. They figured out how to get past a Clippers team that I thought would have given them a lot of fits, which they did. But playing a younger team, this may be the moment where OKC just shows everybody like, hey, look, we're separating from the rest of the pack. We showed y'all during the regular season. Now in the postseason, we have to show y'all again. And if they're able to do it in 5, that would be a huge indicator of there is no one close to us right now, and at least
Right,
not within our